Prime Minister has said that next year's Conservative election manifesto will include plans to impose a threshold on voting levels before unions can call their members out on strike. His comments came ahead of tomorrow's planned walkout by around 1 million public sector workers in a dispute over pay curbs and cuts to their jobs and pensions, an event that's helping to fuel debate about how to tackle inequality. Unison members preparing for a national strike tomorrow, when hundreds of thousands of workers are expected to walk out. But there was little sympathy for the strikers from the Prime Minister in the Commons today.
I condemn these strikes, and I think that people should turn up for work, and it's a pity we don't have so much clarity on that issue from the party opposite.
Out on the march tomorrow, the Ritzy cinema workers campaigning in Brixton for a living wage of £8.80 an hour.
The company that we work for pride themselves and project a very ethical business model, like an art house cinema, and I feel like I want to be valued in the same way. I want to be as an equally important part of their, business plan as what the customers are. For example, we're the people, these people, all the people in there, like we're the ones who make it what it is.
All part of a growing international debate about how to tackle inequality. Enter Nick Hanna, a dot-com multimillionaire so rich he owns a bank. But he's no ordinary plutocrat. One of the main proponents of a $15 minimum wage for workers in Seattle. He doesn't believe wealth trickles down.
Taxing the rich to make investments that make the middle class grow and thrive is the single shrewdest thing we can do for the middle class, for the poor, and for the rich.
But not everyone's convinced it won't have unintended consequences for the very people it's trying to help.
There have been estimates of the potential impact on the jobs market of a complete rollout of the living wage across the economy. It's been estimated that it would lead to 300,000 fewer young people in work. Now that seems to me a significant price to pay for higher wage rates for other people.
And so a kind of stalemate, and a worry for Nick Hanna, who believes the pitchforks of revolution will be confronting the plutocrats if nothing changes. Well, we're joined now from Seattle by Nick Hanna. Nick Hanna, that voice that you will have heard just now, other than mine, was the voice of an economist from a right-wing think tank here. And of course,
Yes.
Forbes magazine has added to the grief by saying that your plan is near insane.
Yes. The orthodox economic view is that if wages go up, employment will go down, which is to any sort of reasonably common sense observer obviously wrong. The fundamental law of capitalism is if workers have more money, businesses have more customers. And when you basically structure an economy, as we have in the United States, where an increasingly smaller and smaller group of people get essentially more and more money, you end up in a death spiral of falling demand. The principal problem with our recovery here and in many other places around the world is rising inequality. The fact that ordinary workers don't earn enough money to sustain the business cycle.
Well, now, take me to, I thought, the very interesting piece in your article in Politico magazine, which is
Yes.
where Henry Ford comes in. Tell me about Henry Ford and why
Yes.
he adds to this argument.
I mean, this is a wonderful old American story, which is that Henry Ford realized that if he didn't pay his workers enough to buy his cars, no one in the country would ever be able to afford to buy them, and he would have a smaller business. And this basic common sense idea should inform a lot of our policy. It's quite a simple prospect, but it runs counter to the orthodox economic trickle-down view that the way to create prosperity is to make rich people richer. It just doesn't work.